raising money for a rider named Logan Tremelin, who suffered some internal injuries in a crash. Yeah, even the trike race with the best ATV pros. There's Joel Hetrick out front, showing what he can do. Hey, this sport started with 3 wheels. Why not a trike race? Okay, let's get serious and talk about our Pro ATV Championship. Joel Hetrick, who you saw there in the trike race, started the year off so strong. But as they roll the pro machines out for this afternoon's racing, the focus is back on the number 1 of Chad Wienen. So the number 20 of Josh Upperman, the 728, Jeff Rastrelli. They are looking to knock him off, as is Hetrick trying to get back into the game. Shout out to Nick Cavaglasio from Argentina competing today. But there's the Wienen Motorsports Yamaha team, once again with the man to beat, Chad Wienen, who's looking for his 4th straight title.
All right, coming off the big win at Sunset, and man, had a good 2 weeks. Be able to prepare for Millville here, and I actually went out to Levy's track out in Iowa a couple times, met up with Strelly and a couple other riders, Janusa, and had a really good couple rides out there, getting used to the sand, and they got a pretty nice set of sand rollers out there that prepares us for the nasty ones here at Millville. And I feel like I'm a very strong rider in the rough stuff, and I've been looking for a track all year long to be able to really let that come out and put some skills together and let me use my legs a little bit. And really looking forward to this weekend. It's looking like nice sunny skies, and we're gonna try and do everything we can to get max points and keep pushing away.
Pushing also is Thomas Brown, who has a couple of moto wins this year. Really wants that overall. Keeps going after Hetrick and Wienen.
Here at Spring Creek, about to go out for the first qualifier. Looking to get a good time. Came off Sunset with a 3-1 finish for 2nd overall, and tightened up the points gap a little bit. Lost a little bit to Chad, but tightened up on Joel in 2nd. And looking to close the points gap up even more throughout this weekend, and hopefully leave here with a chance to get in this championship. There's 4 rounds left, including this one, and man, I would like to leave Loretta's with that number 1 plate.
And so with this man, Joel Hetrick, on fire early in the year, Wienen has shifted the momentum back in his favor. We'll see if Joel can get it back today.
Coming off my 3rd place at Sunset last weekend, I want to come to this race and try to tighten up the points gap. 15 points down, I'd like to get a 1-1 and gain a couple points. If not, I want to stay in the box, and the next couple tracks seem to always fit me well, so I want to go there and rip those tracks up. But Millville looks pretty cool, and I'm excited for it. Track looks rough. I've been practicing in rough a lot, so we'll see what we can do.
All right, the young speedster from Pennsylvania needs to get a victory today and close back in. Wienen has 15 points on him as we go into round 8. Next. ATV Motocross is brought to you by Mountain Dew, by Rocky Mountain, ATVMC.com, and by Amsoil. Welcome back to Millville, Minnesota. Jason Wygant here, your host. Racer TV's coverage of the Mountain Dew ATV Motocross Championship. Time for qualifying, which is really practice and qualifying together. We'll run 2 rounds of it. Joel Hetrick has captured every single ATVRiders.com Fast Lap award this year. But the word is now out that he is suffering from some injuries. Had a big crash as practice began here, and is just trying to recover from that. So can the 88 get up to his normal pace? Wow, look at those vicious and very famous sand whoops here at Millville. That is a distinctive feature of this track. Big jumps are as well. Thomas Brown airing it out on his Yamaha on the 84. The man from Texas can definitely ride the rough stuff. Wow, Josh Upperman swapping all over the place. Does this not look like a fun spot to go riding with this dirt and these obstacles and this terrain? Does that look fun? Jeff Rastrelli airing out the catapult and then the uphill triple. Throwing a little whip action in there. Here's Nick Janusa out of New Jersey. And this is the 40 of Cody Jansen out of Wisconsin. Track really coming together here, but it would soon prove that the injuries would have a toll on Hetrick. Not a huge one, but it opened the door for someone else to take the fast qualifying award. As you watch the 39, Sean Taylor, an Iowa native, certainly has done a lot of riding here in the Midwest area. Here's Tyler Hamrick on his purple Honda. Everyone trying to take advantage, but But the rider that would do it best, maybe no surprise, Chad Wienen would grab the ATVRiders.com Fast Qualifier Award when it was all said and done. Hedrick, though, still good enough for second, so don't count him out of an opportunity to win today. Wienen, by the way, captured the first and second qualifier round fast time, so he's definitely the man to beat today. And Hedrick, there he is on the 88, going to have to dig down deep to not afford to lose any points. So the field is set. Lap times are one thing, but once you put everyone on the track together, starts are a huge factor. They'll be banging off of each other into the first turn, so stay with us. Racer TV is brought to you by Mountain Dew, by Rocky Mountain, ATVMC.com, and by AMSOIL. Opening ceremony is underway. We're waiting for our pro riders to fire them up and go racing here at Millville, Minnesota's Spring Creek. This track just so spectacular, and the riders so happy to get a chance to race here, relatively new on the ATV National Motocross schedule. Ceremonies are done. It's time to rack them up. Our Rocky Mountain ATVMC.com camera on Jeff Rastrelli on the Can-Am from Florida. He will be fast in this sandy terrain, and especially those whoops. Let's go. It's a long straight and a right-hand first turn. You don't see many of those. Rastrelli, nice job turning a bad start into a good one. But Joel Hedrick has the SSI Decals Whole Shot Award. Boy, did he need that one. Smarting a bit from a big crash earlier today. The kid showing some guts here, getting out front. We also have it on board with Josh Upperman, and here are the sand whoops. Oh, you got to stay on top of those. If you drop down in the center, you can see and almost feel how hard the impact is. And Wienen has worked his way around Hedrick. Boy, that didn't take long. And Wienen is so huge on that quad. I'm just going to say, he's 6'4". He is a monster. And he has always made his money in rough whoop sections like that. And he just did it again. So Wienen going to work on the field. Wienen Motorsports Yamaha. Rastrelli and Upperman having a tussle for third and fourth. Got on boards on both, so let's check in with Upperman. Hang on to that thing, Josh. Off the side of the track goes the veteran from Ohio, so that's going to help Rastrelli. No help needed for Wienen, who is already starting to check out. So hard to set the machines up for this track. These sand whoops here are round, and you're just over the back of the machine. It's a totally different setup than the rest of the track. You see a lot of real choppy, smaller bumps. Wienen will just let himself do the work through here. I bet you he's got the suspension set up really for the other portions of the track. Now Hedrick, his good buddy Rastrelli, not too far back from him. And this is the critical juncture. We know Hedrick is sore, battered, and bruised today. It doesn't appear in this moto he's going to have the stuff to keep the heat on Wienen. So now it's a point salvage race. And can he salvage them? Or is Rastrelli going to get him? Yes, they're buddies, but if you're Australian, you can beat somebody. You don't care who it is. Look at Hedrick trying to take a wide entrance into that corner, trying to keep it smooth. Wienen has done such a great job this year responding to the heat brought from Hedrick. Hedrick had won 5 straight motos early in the year to rip the points lead away from Wienen, and he had a couple of those as straight-up victories. He was able to beat the champion hands down. More trouble for Upperman. He is now in the pits. So drama here. Wienen is turning momentum back his way. Upperman is in the pits. Who will survive here at Millville? Stay with us on Racer TV. Racer TV is brought to you by Mountain Dew, by Rocky Mountain, ATVMC.com, and by AMSOIL. Well, it's been a rough day for a lot of contenders here at Racer TV's coverage of the Spring Creek National in Millville, Minnesota. A smooth one, though, relatively smooth considering how rough this section of the track is for your 3-time and defending champion Chad Wienen. Good job, though, by Hedrick, not letting Rastrelli get right to him. And honestly, last few laps, he has not lost a ton of ground to Wienen. So just trying to keep it interesting. If Wienen were to make a mistake or have a mechanical problem, Hetrick could take advantage. Haven't seen much of Thomas Brown in this one. Started 7th. And he's not been able to put a dent in this battle for 2nd. Hetrick and Rastrelli. And now Hetrick starting to stretch it back out. So good job, like we said, minimize the damage today. And remember, 2-moto format, second's as good as the first. And you see Hetrick starting to throw it sideways on those jumps. I don't know. Maybe he's starting to come back around. Not going to have what it takes to challenge Wienen in this moto. But Wienen has won these championships as of late with consistency. These sections, these whoop sections, he's always been bad fast through here. But for years, he would have a bunch of good races and then a bad one or two or a huge crash, an injury, and that ended his championship run. Once Chad Wienen figured out the consistency, no one has been able to take this title away from him. And that's what Hetrick is working on now. He's had 2 big cartwheel-style crashes this year, and that has really been the difference in the standings. Australia had a big crash earlier this season as well. Good to see him bounce back. Oh, down is Brown. Ronnie Higgerson is also off. Those appear to be mechanical problems. Brown, we hear, is back up and okay. That could have been bad. I was just surprised we finally saw him this late in the race. Climbed up to 4th. Certainly he wanted more than that. Last lap. It has been rough on everyone today. Brown somehow, believe it or not, still in 4th place. He's got Tyler Hamrick trying to catch him from 5th. And just look at the impact in those whoops. That has got to hurt. One of the real standout differences when we have the bike motocross there, they just don't slam into the top of the whoops the same way. Everywhere else, quads can do the same stuff. Look at this big uphill section. The Chattapulton and this triple, no problem. But those sand whoops, you really separate the men from the boys through there. And whatever Hetrick is ailing from today, I guarantee you it does not feel good through that section. So here's Wienen, working his way to the checkered flag and doing what he does. Strong, solid, smart rides. He wins when the opportunities present themselves. First moto's in the books. We'll see if anyone can bounce back as the riders quickly have to re-rack for moto number 2. It's all about consistency in motocross. Hetrick wants to answer back. And Upperman hoping for better luck here. And there's Rastrelli pulling in after a solid 3rd in Moto 1. So Moto 2, we're ready to go. Wienen trying to extend the points lead. Everyone trying to stop him from doing that, including Rastrelli, who has the Rocky Mountain on board. And that is a very long first turn stretch. Upperman almost had that SSI decals hole shot, but he got bumped. Hetrick into the lead again. Wienen not wasting any time, just like he did in the first moto. He smells blood in the water. He's on the inside. Hetrick's outside line pays off there. And you got a front row seat to it, courtesy of Upperman, who again almost went off the track. And taking advantage is Rastrelli. And they almost collide in the whoops. And that blew all the momentum for Upperman. Meanwhile, Hetrick finally makes it out of the sand whoops in the lead, unlike Moto 1. But right after that, Wienen able to take the lead from him. So again, the champ on form today. A little bit racier, though, is Hetrick and Rastrelli. Going to try to go right after him. And green flag flies. A clean first lap here in Minnesota. Man, these guys are just hauling the mail on these machines. They've got to be exhausted after that first moto, fighting through these conditions, and then to come back and do it again shows just how fit they are. And Wienen started to get away. I think these types of tracks, the big 6'4" champ's going to be hard to stop. Upperman going to work, trying to get back up inside the top 4. Great racing here in Minnesota. Racer TV is brought to you by Mountain Dew, by Rocky Mountain, ATVMC.com, and by AMSOIL. Chad Wienen from Galena, Illinois, starting to pull away here, trying to make it a clean sweep of the Spring Creek ATV Motocross National by Mountain Dew. And the Yamaha man on the Maxxis SSI decals Walsh racecraft machine. Just so hard to stop in terrain like this. He has so much leverage, those long legs. It's suspension travel. You see them standing up there. He just has so much clearance between the seat and his body. He can get way off the back of the machine. And back in the day, they used to call him Wide Open Wienen because he was so good in the fast section. So look at Hetrick doubling into the sand whoops. Carries great momentum. Trying to keep the Corrosion Honda close. And he's got it right now. Same thing in Moto 1. Oh, but that pass through the whoops right there will cost him. And look at Rastrelli, same thing. He's trying to keep it straight. And once you lose that drive and you're not able to skim across the tops, you lose a ton of ground. Joe Bird, good to see him on the radar. Multi-time champ on the number 7, battling with a young kid, Ronnie Higgerson. And Bird's a really tall guy, too. I'm sure that helps him through there. But Wienen, just the class of the field today. Rastrelli here looking to put in his best ride since 3-3 scores for third at round 2 in Georgia back in March. It's a good job by the JB Racing Can-Am liquid wrench rider. But here it is, Wienen. This is just icing on the cake, being able to cruise home in the last lap, pressure-free. And he's going to add 3 points to his lead in the series standings in Moto 1 and 3 more in Moto 2. Hetrick, though, what an effort. He is still digging with 3/4 of a lap to go, doing everything he can, almost going down. Just wants to let Wienen know he still has a shot at this title. He heals up with the 3 rounds left after this. He still has time to go after Wienen, and the way he was riding the midway point of the season, it's definitely a possibility he can get back in this. But Wienen has shown time and time again why he is the boss of ATV motocross. He wins when he has to, and is consistent on every other day. A dominant performance by Wienen here at Spring Creek. Rastrelli, Brown, and Bird. Nice run. Round out the top 5. Here are your winners.
Here at Millville, we started off the day really well with the top qualifier, and man, the track just suited me so well here at Millville, and man, the sand rollers were just brutal today. Man, I couldn't ask for a better machine right now. The Yamaha hooking it up. First moto, we came out third and made some quick passes. Once we got into the rollers, I was able to make a couple passes on Upperman, and then Joel as well. And man, just put it down first couple of laps, and just rode smooth. Second moto, we ripped second place out of the start. Joel got the Holy, and man, just first probably about a quarter lap, I got it on Joel, and I just had it going on and today, and I just had a good feeling about it. And track suited me so well, nice, brutal, rough, and really looking forward to Unadilla next and take it one moto at a time. And we're getting the latter parts of this championship. We're going to keep plugging away, and got to thank everybody. Thank you.
Start off my weekend here at Millville with the second time qualifying. The first qualifier actually hit the ground pretty hard. Got up pretty sore for both motos actually. I thought it was going to go away, but I got a pretty nasty road rash and big bruise, but we worked through it. We got a 2-2 on both motos, pulled both hole shots, just couldn't make it work in those rollers. Chad had him dialed, and he's a taller guy, so it benefited him more. But I did what I could. Track was brutal, rough. I had a good race though, good hole shots. Looking forward to Unadilla. I always have good finishes there. Gonna pull some more hole shots and tighten up this points gap. Try to get some more 1-1s and bring it home.
Jeffrey Rastrelli here at Millville, Minnesota. First moto, I think, came out in about 4th or 5th, and worked my way up to 3rd and really put a charge in. And Thomas was coming, I saw him, and I think he made a mistake and wrecked, and really secured the position for me in the first moto. Came out in the second one with I think another 4th or 5th place start, and passed for 3rd, and me and Joel were battling hard there for I think like 2 or 3 laps, and I was really pushing it, really wanting to get by him, and made some huge mistakes, went off the track twice, and a little misfortune, but I'm so happy with the 3rd place finish overall with the injury at Ironman, of course, and I'm just so happy right now, and can't wait for Unadilla. I podiumed there last year for my first pro podium ever, so really stoked, looking to go there and maybe move up a position or 2. So we'll see you there.
To the AMSOIL race recap here. Joel Hetrick, great start in the first moto. You can see Chad Chad Wienen getting him on the inside early on lap 1 of the first moto, and then pulling away from there. Trouble several times over for poor Josh Upperman. He went off the track and then had a flat tire and had to go to the pits. As Wienen got away, then a big crash for Thomas Brown trying to come from the back. He would recover for 4th. This is the guy who had won a moto at our previous race, so a tough day for Brown. Moto 2, another hole shot for Wienen. Upperman and Rastrelli battling it out. Hedrick would hold on a little bit longer to the lead, but then Wienen would get him, and this track was rough. Good job by Joe Bird there to the number 7 to rally for 5th in that second moto. Always good to see Joe up there.